A San Diego attorney and government official named Maria P. travels to where her sons are living, sits with them in beautiful nature settings, and has wonderful, uplifting conversations with them. That wouldn't be surprising if it weren't for the fact that Maria's sons are living in the afterlife. She taught herself how to relax into an open state of mind in which she travels to where they are regularly and has extended communications with them. You can learn how to have your own afterlife communications using the method she taught herself. This video contains Maria's descriptions of actual communication she has had with her sons living in the afterlife. Hello, I'm Dr. R. Craig Hogan, President of the Afterlife Research and Education Institute and Seek Reality Online. I'm the author of 8 books containing the evidence you will come to the end of this life, but you will never die. Maria I.P. was born in the Philippines and raised in San Diego. She received her bachelor's degree from Harvard University and her law degree from the University of San Diego School of Law. She has practiced law and worked in business and government for 30 years. Maria suffered the terrible tragedy of having her 2 sons, Sean and Kyle, murdered by their father. Desperate to connect with her sons, she taught herself how to have afterlife communication through meditation. In her connection, she goes to a place she calls the upper realm, where she has wonderful, uplifting experiences with her 2 boys living in the afterlife. The book describing her communications with her sons is available on Amazon in the link in the description below. The profits from the book sales are donated to the Sean and Kyle Imagine Fund. Visit Maria's website at the link in the description below for more information about Sean and Kyle, and to learn about the fund's projects that promote their ideals of peace, love, and integrity. Maria's book is also available for free in PDF or Kindle versions on her website. Following are excerpts from Maria's book. What you hear her describing is the experiences she had in her mind during her meditation.
Walked from the meadow to the well, dropped a heavy object, kind of like a bowling ball, into the well. It symbolized my troubles that I was leaving behind for this meditation. I turned around and walked through the meadow to the edge of the cliff. I got onto a cloud and traveled up to the upper realm. I landed in a garden and got off the cloud. I walked to a white marble bench and sat down. A man sat next to me and put his arm around me. He said his name was Michael, my guide. I leaned against him, feeling comforted. I suddenly remembered that one morning I had been wakened by a clear, distinct voice asking for Michael. We got up and walked a short distance out of the garden to a grass area where there was a big leafy tree. Under the tree, there was a picnic area with a U-shaped bench and a table. Just enough room for 3 people to sit around the table. The sanctuary. There were plates of fruit. Snowball, my beloved cat, was there sitting on the cushion on the bench. Black Panther lay down behind the benches. It was as if we were just waiting for the boys to come. I could feel Sean's energy, and I could picture him sitting with me at our picnic table. I sat holding Snowball. I was so happy to see him again, and he was happy to see me. I felt the old, familiar feelings of love and comfort toward him. Michael stood nearby, watching quietly. I pictured the favorite fruits and sweets of the boys sitting on the table just waiting until they arrived. But this visit to the upper realm was not to be the one where I would meet with my boys. After a little while, Michael said it was time to go, so I walked back to the garden. Michael stayed near the picnic table and bench, watching me as I left. I got back on the cloud and came back to the cliff, then to the meadow, and back to the physical realm. Started in the meadow, walked to the well and dropped in my troubles some small stones. Walked up the path to the cliff edge and got onto the cloud, got to the garden and went to the bench. Michael arrived and asked me if I was ready. I said yes. I was very excited. We walked hand in hand to the sanctuary. I looked at the picnic table, but the boys were not there yet. I turned to my right and the boys were there. They came to me and hugged me. I took Kyle's face in my hands and kissed him. I hugged Sean and he held me and looked down at me. I was so happy to see them. We walked over to the picnic table and sat down, me in the middle, Sean on my right, and Kyle on my left. They showed me that they had left a small corner of agar for me. They were eating the fruit on the table. Sean said, "Mom, remember when we had these in China?" And he held up a fresh lychee fruit. I said, "Yes." Then I asked Kyle if he knew about Coach Gill's message, and he said, "Yeah, Mom, I know." I asked them if they had any regrets. Kyle said he misses playing football, but he is watching all the games and the start of the new NFL season. Sean said he still plays the guitar. I asked Sean if I should give or loan the drum set to Andrew because Andrew is starting a band called Sean's Band. Sean said, "It's up to you, Mom." I'm okay with it, but you need to decide if you want to do that. I touched their hands and their faces and kissed them. Then Michael said it was time to go. The boys said they would come there again. Sean said, "See, Mom, see how great it is for us here?" "You are doing really great, Mom." We got up from the table and they started to walk away to the right. I ran to them for one last hug. They both held me and kissed me. Michael took me by the hand and led me back to the garden where I got back on the cloud and came back down to the cliff, then the meadow. Very early this morning, the boys came into my room to hug me and kiss me. There was also a little girl with them. It was so real, so tangible. I could see and feel them so clearly. They were so loving. I was hugging the three of them and telling them they were my favorite 3 little ones. It was so real, so tangible. Their skin, their hair, their faces, touching them, kissing them. It was amazing. Started in the meadow, walked to the well, dropped in gravel of troubles, turned and walked up the path to the cliff edge with Panther. We both got onto the cloud to the upper realm and landed in the garden. We walked to the bench. Michael met us there and greeted us. We all walked together to the sanctuary. I started to cry with tears of joy and emotion as I anticipated seeing the boys. They came running from the right. They hugged and kissed me as I cried and cried. Kyle squeezed me tight. We walked to the table. Sean sat in the middle this time, Kyle on the right, me on the left. Snowball jumped up onto Kyle's lap. The boys were happy to have Snowball. I asked if Dylan came to see them. They said yes. Then I said that Snowball would probably like Dylan, and they said, "Yeah, Mom, he does." It was so nice just to sit with them and feel their energy. We sat together, petting Snowball. As we looked at Michael and Panther standing nearby, Sean asked, "Mom, do you like your animal guide?" "Yes." "It's pretty cool, huh, Mom? Panther is like a bigger version of Snowball." We smiled and laughed. I asked them if they could help Connor because he is having a hard time. Kyle said, "Tell Connor that we are okay, Mom, and that we will help him. Tell him that he will be okay." "I will tell him, honey, but if you can show him as many signs as possible, I think it will really help him a lot." They said, "Okay, Mom." Michael was standing nearby with Panther, who was sitting patiently next to him. Michael said, "It's time to go." I was not making much of a move to go. I wanted to sit with my boys. When my alarm went off, Michael said, "Okay, it's really time to go now." I got up from the table. Kyle hugged me first and lifted me up. Sean hugged me and patted my head in a cute, teasing way since he is taller than I am. I left with Michael and made my way back with Panther. As we got into the meadow, I patted Panther and said goodbye, then made my way back to the physical realm.
Maria P. taught herself how to have these wonderful, uplifting communications with her sons. Go to her website at the link in the description below to learn more about how you can support her work and read her book containing descriptions of her communication with her sons. Your loved ones are alive and well and anxious to have you communicate with them. You just have to learn how to relax into the open state of mind Maria taught herself. The communications are further proof your loved ones are alive and well in the afterlife, and you will come to the end of this life, but you will never die.